YouTube! How's it going? How y'all living out there? I hope you're living good, incredible. So, today is real pretty. Well, it's prettier than usual. Oh, because the past month, just rain for me. And yesterday, it was raining all day. And I had decided I've been wanting to do this video, and I had decided to do the video in the rain. Under an umbrella. Because I had some thoughts I kept thinking about. I suddenly started thinking about a Bob Marley quote. And it goes something like, some people just get wet while others feel the rain. And I took that thought as a type of inspiration. Like, okay, maybe this is an opportunity. Take advantage of it. But one thing led to another, and I wasn't able to do the video yesterday. So here I am today. The conditions are much more suitable, and here I am. And what am I going to talk about? Karmic debt. So what is karmic debt? All right, so we're gonna figure out karmic debt. I'm gonna explain what karmic debt is and why it's good to know what your karmic debt is. Now, karmic debt is, we know what debt is. Debt is owing. And karma is getting back something that you put out. And usually, when we think about debt, we think about money. And no one wants to owe money, right? Well, in life, you reap what you sow with everything, not just money. The energy you put out into the universe, into people around you, into your family, into your job, into your community, you accrue something. Even if it seems like you're not gaining anything, all of this is like a cosmic bank. It's building up. And you get to spend this currency. It's accessible to you, whether you understand it or see it or not. And this is a lesson that I've learned through my past few years and went through understanding this. And I had to learn that, money wasn't everything. Like if you could be just super rich, but morally bankrupt, your relationships are bankrupt, you have no connection with your community, you're just out of sync with everything, psychologically bankrupt, and all of that money is like worthless. What are you gonna spend it on? So once I learned this lesson, I began to focus my energy in other directions in order to get other currency in my life. And it's been more fulfilling. I feel taken care of. I feel a lot more taken care of, thinking about life that way. I mean, I don't totally ignore money, but I put it in its place. And I respect everything equally or appropriately. So let's talk about karmic debt. Now, what is karmic debt? According to the theory or the whole concept of reincarnation, in our previous life, we made investments, different investments in our previous lifetime into that life. And into some parts of our life, we invested a lot. In some parts, maybe we failed, we didn't make enough investments. And the parts of our life that we didn't make enough investments are the parts of our life that we probably suffer in right now. Because life is cyclic. Things happen in cycles. You know, what goes around comes around. And I'm going to talk about how to figure out your karmic debt. How to find out like what type of karma that you have. Because you can't clean something up. You can't accrue wealth in different parts of your life if you don't know what's lacking. So we're going to learn like which part is lacking, and this is going to be based on your birth date. So I'm going to focus on two things: your life path number and the karmic debt associated with your life path number, and your birth date, the karmic path tied to your birthday. Now, in order to understand this, we need to know what a life path means and know what a birthday means. Now, a life path, I've already made a video about this, a life path number. And life path number is basically the type of path that's carved out for your life. It tells you the path that if you take this path, life will be a lot easier for you. I mean, you could live your life any way you choose to live it. You can take shortcuts, you can do whatever you want to do. But if you ever get lost, you could probably get back on this path and things will just be grounded and easier for you. Or you could follow that path and take it to a way bigger, greater vibration. Make that path super. Or you could destroy that path and make that path, make it a low vibrational path. Now, you also have your birthday number. A birthday number is just the day of the month you were born. And the birthday number tells you your gifts, your talents. And a lot of times these things are hidden. We don't realize we have them. So I'm going to tell you how to know what they are. And also tell you the karmic debt that's tied to your gifts and your talents. Because as they say, with great gifts or talent comes great responsibility. And it's no different here. And at the end, just to make sure that you get everything and it all makes sense, because some of this is going to sound complicated, even though it's super simple, because of, I'm going to throw so much information at you. I'm going to write it all down on paper so that you see how to make these calculations and how to understand it really simply, because this is real simple. All right, so let's get started. Let's talk about life path number first. Here's how to calculate your life path number. Your life path number, or if you want to know more about what a life path number is, you can go to my video. I made a video about how destiny vibrates through numbers, and I'll drop the link below. And it tells you how to how to know what your life path number is and how to do it and everything that it means. And it also, if you check the comment section, it'll give you all of the life path numbers and give you in-depth descriptions of what they are. So if you don't know what your life path number is, you can go to that video, go to the link below and check it out. It's in the comment section. But here's how to calculate that number. The first thing you do is you take the day, the month, and the year. That's 3 different numbers. So the year, for example, if it's 1999, you add all of these numbers and you reduce them down to one digit. For example, 1999, 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 1 equals 28. We still have 2 numbers. 228, 2 plus 8 equals 10. We have 2 numbers, 1 and 0. 1 plus 0 equals 1. So that's a 1. And then we go over to the next number, which is the month. And let's say you were born in November. November is the 11th month of the year. So we reduce 1. We add 1 plus 1, and that equals 2. But for this number, we don't reduce it because 11 is what's considered a master number. We don't reduce master numbers. So we let 11 stay 11. 11, 22, and 33 are master numbers. So let's say that and then we have another number, the day of the month you were born. You take that number, let's say it's a 3, and we add them up. So we add up 1 plus 11 plus 3. So 1 plus 11 equals 12. 12 plus 3 equals 15. 15 is not a master number, so we reduce 15 to 6. So the life path number here is a 6, for example. Now, that's life path number. But how do we know what our karmic debt is? Now, if you have a life path number, that's here's how you find out your karmic debt. Your karmic debt is if you reduce the number and it's a 13, a 14, a 16, or a 19. Now, if you have a 13, for example, a 13 reduces down to 4, but a 14 indicates that you have karmic debt. So let's talk about what type of karmic debt you have if you have a 13, 14, 16, or a 19. Now, if you have a number 13, notice all of these numbers have 1s in front of them. A 1 indicates like maybe selfishness, like focusing on yourself too much maybe. So a lot of the karmic debt is related to being selfish. So number 13, 1 plus 3 equals 4. Number 13 is, if you have a number 13, when you reduce all of your birthday numbers, it means that in your past life, maybe you were lazy, or you didn't do enough work, your work ethic was poor, or something like this. So in this life, you'll probably be challenged with a lot of situations where you're forced to work hard, to put in lots of hard work and just have really high work ethic. And you probably think that you work too hard. And this is the lesson that you have to master. And if you never master this lesson and you avoid the lesson, it's going to keep coming back. So that's 13, work ethic, laziness. Number 14, this is related to addictions. In your previous life, you probably had like certain addictions, whether that be drugs, sex, rock and roll, food, what have you, whatever you were hung up on that you couldn't get enough of. And it probably had a negative effect on your previous life, and it took its toll. But so if that's the case, and you have this type of karmic debt, then in this lifetime, you yourself may have an addiction, or you may be tied to someone that has an addiction, and it's probably negatively weighing on you. So it can play out in many different ways. And it doesn't just have to be you, it could be someone else that you are tied to, and you have to deal with it. And then the number 16. If your number reduces down to number 16, it means in your previous life, the type of debt was related to relationships. You probably weren't honest with your partner. You were probably too secretive. You were some type of strain on the relationship. You didn't respect the relationship or something like this for whatever reason. And that could play out in this lifetime as your partner making you really jealous or something like this. Your partner being really sneaky and selfish and stuff like this. So that's that type of karmic debt, 16. And then last number, a 19. 19 is karmic debt. If you have a 19, you probably have a very old soul, because 19 is a person with a lot of responsibility. You're probably in a position of power. So you're probably the leader of a huge religious organization, a CEO, a politician, anything where you're in a big position of power. And while you were there, you abused the power. There was probably a gross neglect of power. So, in this lifetime, you'll probably be in a situation where you have to speak for the voiceless, people that don't have a voice, or take up for someone who can't take up for themselves, or speak up for something that's unpopular, but it's the right thing to do. So those are karmic debt numbers, 13, 14, 16, 19. That's karmic debt for your life path number. So now let's talk about your birthday number. Now remember, your birthday number is the gift that you have, or your talent that you have. And as they say, with great power comes great responsibility. So I'm going to talk about the power, and I'm going to talk about the responsibility part. And I'm going to talk about the debt that you may or may not have, depending on which numbers you have. So I'm going to go through all of these numbers real quickly, real briefly. All right, so if you're number one, you have a talent for really taking charge, firing people up, motivating people. Think of like a military general or something like this. That's your gift. So the problem with this number, or the shadow side, is that maybe you have trouble following orders, or you have trouble being led. And then number two is you have like a gift of intuition. You know how to work with people. You know how to sense. You know how to sense what's going on with the people, with the group. You understand the dynamics of the group, and you work well with them. Now, your lack may be that you don't know how to stand up on your own 2 feet. So you may have to learn how to stand up on your own 2 feet. And number three, you probably have the gift of gab. You know how to talk to people. You know how to go from person to person. You know how to really communicate and connect with the community. But the problem that you may have with your power is that you may have trouble controlling your emotions and being patient with people. So you'd have to watch out for that. And then number 4. If you're number 4, you're very organized, there's structure, you're a hard worker, you're like a boss. You make things happen. You put things together, you make sure that they're working out the way they're supposed to work out. The problem with this number, or the shadow side, is that maybe you're too controlling. You know, you want those results at any cost. So, you know, and no one wants to be controlled unless they want to be controlled. So that's the problem that could come with that. And then you have number 5. If your birthday is the 5th day of a month, the type of power you have is that you know how to make things, when things get boring, you know how to keep them interesting. You know how to really like innovate and make something different and make some nice, unique change. But the shadow side, or the negative side of this, is that maybe you might be irresponsible. You're not that responsible. So you have to focus on staying responsible and doing what you're supposed to do. And then number 6. Number 6 is like a caretaker, or someone that like raising children, like you know, home life or something like this. And you know, it's a really good thing to raise something or raise someone and help them develop, help them grow and mature. But the shadow side is that you have to know when to stop. You have to know when you're crossing lines, when you're getting in someone's business too much. And also with number 6, you'll probably have to contend with being betrayed. You probably get betrayed in your life some kind of way. You have to deal with betrayal. And that's related to the type of debt you'll probably have to deal with. And number 7, if you're a number 7, your gift is, think like a conspiracy theorist. You're able to like really put clues together and figure things out that no one else can really figure out. You're pretty good at this. That's your gift. But the shadow side, or the negative side of this, is that maybe you don't believe anyone. Maybe that you think that you don't trust anyone and you just trust yourself, you know, too much. And, you know, of course, no one's right all the time. So you have to be, you know, aware of that. And then number 8. If you're number 8, you have a very high potential for success. Think CEO, a person that really is on top of things. And with the number 8, the shadow side of them is that they have trouble balancing their material and their spiritual side of life. Those two lives, spiritual life and their material life. Like they may, you know, get caught up in just all money and neglect like the spiritual side, or vice versa. And then number 9. Number 9, your gift is you can take care of the people that can't take care of themselves. You're like a hero, the hero type. You help the defenseless. And your shadow side is you have to avoid coming off as condescending and learn how to forgive people. Okay, so that's pretty much all the numbers. But you have master numbers too. Master number 11. If your number's in 11, because remember you don't reduce in 11. If your numbers are in 11, your gift is that it's like number 1 on steroids. you know how to really initiate and really put things together. It's a master number. And I'll talk a little bit more about this when I get to the actual paper, and I'll share with you about what a number 1 actually is. And then master number 22. Number 22, 2 plus 2 equals 4. 22 is a master, like a master builder, or like a number 4. A number 2. A number 22 is Bill Gates is a number 22, and number 22 is a master builder, like a person that can innovate. And the shadow side of them is that they may become like way too overconfident and think that they're way more important than they are, which can become problematic. And then you have 33, master number 33. 33, you have the ability to lead huge groups of people to do the right thing. And of course, there's a shadow side to that, like all the negative things that can come out of that type of thing is the shadow side in regards to that, number 33. And some numbers the last 2 numbers I'll talk about here are numbers 20 and numbers 30. A number 20 and number 30 are basically 2 and 3, but because there's a 0 behind it, a zero represents like magnification. So if there's a 0 behind, if there's a 20, then it's a 2 magnified. And I'm talking magnification of the negatives and the positives of a 2. Or number 30, a magnification of the negatives and the positives of a number 3. And if you remember, number 3, the negatives of a number 3 is emotionally unstable. So if you're a person with if you're number 3 and you're emotionally unstable, the 0 is going to magnify that. It's going to make it even more intense. So those are the numbers for karmic debt and what they mean. So now that we're done, let's go to the pen and paper, and I'll lay it all out real simply so that we can make sure we didn't miss anything. So let's go to the pen and pad. So let's review everything. Okay, so all right, so we talked about life path number, how to add up and figure out a life path number. Basically, you take the year, let's say 1999, for example, and let's say the month is January, so that's 1, and let's say the day is the 22nd. So January 22nd, 1999. So the first thing we do to figure out our life path number is we add just the year, not all of them, just the year by itself first, and then we add the month. It's 1, so we don't have to reduce it, and then we add this number. But there's a catch to this. I'll explain in a moment. So here, 1999. So 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 1 equals 28. 28 plus 1 is already reduced, and 22. We don't reduce 22 to 4 because 22 is a master number. Number 11, 22, and 33 are master numbers. So we don't have to reduce these numbers. So what we do is we take the 28 plus the 1, which is 29, plus the 22, which is 39, 49, 50, 51. So this number is 51. And 51 is not a master number, so we reduce it and we get 5 plus 1 equals 6. So the life path number for this year January 22nd, 1999 is a 6. Now, I talked about numbers that have karmic debt attached to them. 6s don't have karmic debt attached to them. So, okay, here are the numbers that have a karmic debt attached to them. Now, when we reduce the number down to double digits, and the numbers are 13, 14, 16, and 19, these numbers have karmic debt attached to them. And I already explained what the type of karmic debt that's attached to 13, 14, 16, and 19. So that's karmic debt. And here, this is karmic debt for the life path number. So along your life path, this is the type of karmic debt that you'll have in regards to your life path number. And when we reduce numbers, we can get more insight on the numbers that we reduce by paying attention to the numbers that were reduced to get to the single digits. But let's move on here. Now let's talk about your birthday number. Your birthday number, it's the same thing. The same system. 13, 14, 16, 19. Karmic debt. And, of course, these numbers reduce down to other numbers. Like 13 is a 4. So if you get 4 and it was reduced from 13, you have that karmic debt. Or here, this is a 5. If yours is a 5 and it was reduced from 14, that's your karmic debt. And you also have the numbers, when you're talking about birthday, you have the numbers 20 and you have the number 30. And with these days, there's no karmic debt, but remember, the 0 amplifies the 2. So if you have like the positive or the negative traits of a number 2, the 0 amplifies whatever traits you possess of that number 2. And same thing with number 3. The 0 amplifies the characteristics or the personality that you have in regards to number 3. So is that everything? Oh yeah. And master numbers. Master numbers. There's 11, 22. There's 11, 22, and 33. Number 11 is, it's a master number, and a master number, number 11 really knows how to work with a group. They really know how to really have a really deep understanding of a group, and they're really masterful. So number 11, it's a number 2 on steroids. A simple way to put it, a number 2 on steroids. And the shadow side of them, or what they have to worry about or contend with, is that they have to make sure that they're decisive and not second guessing themselves. And they have to stay focused. They can't lose sight. And number 22, it's like a visionary. A person that has like a big idea that no one else has. And they know how to really implement this idea. And I think Bill Gates is this number. And their shadow side is that they have to learn to control their ego. Realize their importance and not think that they're way more important than they actually are. And number 33. 33, you're the type of person that can lead huge groups of people into doing the right thing. I guess think of like a really super strong spiritual teacher in regards to number 33. Okay, so I think that's everything. Yeah, so that's everything. And finally, the sun's out. It's midday, and I'm about to work on my tan. I'm about to talk to the sun, maybe stare at it for a little while, ask questions. I haven't had this opportunity in days. So, it feels real nice to be able to do this again. And I just want to say I love you all and I appreciate you all. And thank you for checking out my video and being interested. And as always, I really want to know what you think, how you feel, and I want to know what you know. You know, let's share and let's grow together. Again, I appreciate you and I love you. Bye.